Hello everyone, this is Jeff with the Halcyon Masters, and today we are going to be playing Lance, a protector in Vainglory and one of the newer heroes on the Fold. We're joined by RoxyIsSmall and Juarez on Ringo and Petal respectively, and we're going up against an Arden, Kestrel, and Koshka. Now Koshka is going to be really strong in the early game, so I'm going to prioritize a little bit more defensive items by picking up the Iron Guard contract. And one of the reasons I like the Iron Guard contract is it ensures that as we do our jungle rotations, our health stays full. That's going to be really important, especially in the first couple rotations. Now I think in the early game I have some trouble landing my root on Koshka, but hopefully that's not the entire game on this one, so we'll see what happens. So we're going to rotate through. We took our medic, we took our back doubles. We're going to work on this mid medic right here. And while we're going around, I'm always going to keep an eye out up top to make sure that my Ringo is doing okay up in the lane. So I see the enemy team is over there, so I pick up a scout trap, I pick up a little bit of health so that I can sustain a fight a little bit better. Unfortunately, I missed that first root, so I have about a 12-second cooldown on that one. And Koshka is able to go in and continue to pursue Petal, and I think she's going to take him out, which she does. So I miss a second root here, so not a very good early start to this game. So they're going to move back into our back camps and take probably our doubles and our medic back there, which is a bit unfortunate as we start off the game. Pick up a couple more flares and scout traps because vision is going to be quite important to make sure we can protect against these earlier ganks. And I see that they are back working on our back camps right now. So Juarez is working in to do that one. He did scare him off a little bit, so they were probably a little low after going in for those doubles. So they didn't want to fight on that one. We're going to come down, we got that medic. I'm going to come up and assist and see if we can get a little gank on the Kestrel. So we end up getting one root. I miss my B a little bit, but we're able to pursue in, keep vision on Kestrel as she goes into that bush. I'm going to come down. I see the Koshka right there, end up missing another root. We're going to go in here, we see both of them are kind of escaping back into their bush. Koshka comes out, push him away to see if I can spare Juarez a little bit of the pain there. And again, trying to predict where Koshka was in that bush, but I end up missing again. So we're going to try to pursue. Roxy has a couple shots on it. I'm not able to slow the Koshka enough to save Juarez, but we are able to get him in this one. And there's a good Achilles shot to finish off the Koshka. So I saw Arden just jump over the wall. I didn't know the Kestrel was there, but I'm able to get out without too much pain. Arden ends up taking our mid healer, and I'm about 25% health, so I'm just gonna kind of go in between here. They pop the vision that I put down. The vision there was more for safety. If there was another engagement, I knew they'd have to come up closer to me. So instead of so the reason I put that down was more for the damage that it could do than for the vision that it would provide. When I work back, Juarez has hit level 3, I'm still at level 2, there's my third point. I'm going to put that into my A ability, which is going to give me a little bit more damage if I do land those roots. See Koshka in that other bush, but we're just going to back off on this one because we know that she has a little bit more of the early game advantage. See that they're coming down. Fake him out by saying, maybe I'm putting a scout trap in just to see if I can draw him in a little bit more. And we're guessing that they had warned their Kestrel on that side. So we're looking at it. I'm going to try to land my root, but unfortunately she gets right outside of my range. I'm going to back off a little bit just to check our back camps because I want to make sure that they do not take any more of the farm that we have back here. Sure enough, they are back here. Miss another root. Push them back a little bit. Juarez is going to rotate over into their back camps, and I'm going to see if I can escape. And luckily I do, so it looks like she had used her spin on the minions instead of on me. So I'm going to work towards our fountain, which will give us a little bit more sustain, especially in kind of that early game. And we're going to pick up some more scout traps for vision and a couple flares so we can make sure we check the bushes before we move into them. So Ringo's down in the middle of the map pursuing Koshka, so I'm going to work down into that direction. Petal's in the back, and he's able to take out the Kestrel. So I'm gonna move back here, see if I can find where the Koshka is, and it looks like she's evaded us. And actually the Koshka came up and looks like she's in lane and was able to take out Petal. So she really did give us a good slip on that one. So I'm going to go ahead and get working on the medic right here, just so they can't come through and take our mids while our Petal comes back up and respawns. So I threw a flare in the back there just because I had a suspicion that there was a little scout trap or some additional vision near our minion mine. So I'm going to pop those, found one behind our mid healer as well, and I'm just going to check up here as kind of the third spot, which is pretty common for a place where people put scout traps. So I'm actually going to put one in our backs because we're getting invaded quite a bit. This will help us give some vision in the back, and we're going to make the rotation up. So was able to root Koshka right there. I used my B to push her back into the turret, and the turret actually was able to put at least 2 really good shots on. So their Arden put down some a vision there, maybe to try to get it so that to stop us from pursuing. I'm going to use my A ability to check the bush there to make sure they're not waiting for us. Luckily they weren't. And now I'm going to go ahead and pick up some additional shielding, some more flares, and we're going to get back into our back camps or start to work on our minion mine. So as you see, I threw up a flare right there in that bush, and the reason I put the flare up there was to protect against any additional vision items that the enemy team may have put up. So we grab the minion mine, we're going to start to work on our top healer, and then I'm going to start working on the back camps again. Our Ringo's pushing forward. Koshka just popped up and actually killed him right there, unfortunately. So we're going to rotate up into the lane, throw a flare just to make sure no one's in that bush. And I'm just going to protect our lane to make sure it doesn't get pushed into our turret too quickly while our Ringo comes back into his farming position. So we see a scout trap or a flare come up from the enemy team. And there's some more vision. So the enemy team really is doing a good job at keeping vision on our side of the map. So keep that in mind if you're doing the same thing. Anytime that you invade, you should be able to drop a scout trap or 2, which helps out and keeps you aware of where the enemy team may be. So they use an ultimate on Petal. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to save her, nor myself. So I'm getting a little bit low. I'm going to boots away, and hopefully our Ringo can do some damage here pretty quickly. I come back in and am sniped by the Kestrel, which was pretty solid. Roxy uses a reflex block to get out of the gauntlet there, but it looks like he's going to fall as well, and we just narrowly avoided the ace with Petal coming back up. So now I've got our fountain, pick up some more flares. That was a 7 or 8 minute fountain, not super quick, but I was spending quite a bit of gold on vision items and have died twice so far in this game. So I'm going to beeline it over to the turret to make sure that we can protect that. Looks like Roxy's coming in, so I'm going to let him get most of this farm. And I'm going to come down and partner up with my jungler again to make sure that there's no surprise ganks. Throwing up a flare, check the bottom shop, we can come in, taking a look around, seeing what I can afford. I'm only at 225 gold, so we're going to continue to move back up into the lane and see if we can harass the Kestrel a little bit. Again, really good scout trap by that Arden, gotta give him credit for that one. So Koshka pounces in, I'm able to root the Koshka right there, and the ultimate goes off by Petal. So here's the Kestrel. I know that she just put down a trap right there, so I'm going to avoid walking into that so she can't stun me. I'm going to come down and try to use the root to keep them right in that kind of choke point. So I use my fountain to get Roxy back up into the health so that he can come down and help us with this team fight. And now we're going to walk around. They're leaving because I think they saw we used our fountain. So missed the root. Yeah, I'm really not doing great with those on this game. So, unfortunately they just melted my 2 carries, so I'm going to see if I can get out of here. I use my combat roll, use my B to push them back. I'm trying to run to the safety of my turret, and luckily I succeed, so we avoid the ace. I know that Koshka is going to be working into our back camps, so I'm going to try to sit around, wait here, and see if I can steal that mid healer. Unfortunately, I'm not able to, and again, she eludes my root, but I was able to save my back camps. I'm going to go ahead and get these started because I know that Juarez is coming down with Petal, and he can go ahead and work on those and get the gold from it. The gold mine was full, so the enemy team collected 300 gold each, and that's a pretty big swing because of the 900 gold the enemy team gets. So we're going to get here. I use my B ability to stun out the Koshka. The ultimate comes out again by Petal, and I think we can get him. Yes, we did. So there's the... See, that root should have definitely hit. Still kind of wondering why it didn't. I think I was just a little north of where there were. So, if you're looking at this one on how to best root as Lance, don't take my lead for it. The beginning of the game through the middle of the game, kind of rusty. So taking a look here, I'm going to work on getting some more vision. So, I'm going to pick up another health item, and then also a chronograph to get my regen on my abilities up a little bit quicker. We're going to come up here, help out with the push in the lane. We're going to try to take out that turret since their Kestrel is out at the moment. And here comes the Koshka. I'm going to push him back, move this direction, and I'm able to root both of them, which gives Roxy enough time to escape out of it and into protection of our turret. He's relatively low, but he is in the right spot for it. Their Kestrel throws out her ultimate, but is unable to connect, which is lucky for us because that would have taken out Roxy. So Juarez does a trampoline in, uses her ultimate against the Ardent. It doesn't quite take him down, but I'm able to root the Koshka, and we're able to take her out, but she takes out our Ringo before we're able to compete against it. I use my boots, although the Arden is able to gauntlet over to his teammate. So we're just going to go ahead and get a little bit of work on that medic in the mid, and then we're also going to take their front doubles as well. So I can grab the flare gun. This will give me a perpetual flare. The only thing I don't like about the flare gun is it's relatively expensive for an item that has an 18-second cooldown or a 20-second cooldown. So again, I see some vision up here near the gold mine, so I'm going to go ahead and pop that. And I'm going to rotate up to the top to help Roxy out, because I know that Kestrel is right there. I think I'm going to try to go ahead and root him at the same time, although she's moving a little bit out of my range because of where the lane push is. So we're going to hold here, and what Roxy's doing at the top is he's actually slowing down his farm. So I get Kestrel, I root her. I'm able to use my B, but I do walk into her trap, but it doesn't do too much damage to me. So we have all three of our teammates and all three of the enemies up here in the lane. I throw a flare to take a look and see where they are hiding. So I was able to root Kestrel. Fortunately, we don't get the game off. I use my fountain to get myself some health. Kestrel comes in, tries to use her ultimate. Fortunately, it does not connect. Use my root again. That holds on to the Koshka, and Juarez is quite low. I'm pretty low, but I'm going to back into the turret to see if I can bait the Arden into it. Root him again, able to use that one, knock him back. Takes me out, but it does allow Juarez to escape down into our jungle shop and avoid that ace. So I'm able to pick up the contraption there. I think I double bought a flare gun, unfortunately. But we got the contraption. Now we're going to work in and see what the next items we are going to take a look at. So with Lance, I actually like to build into a weapon power path because he's quite strong on that one. It works really well with his A if you can land the root. And then also I think there's a scaling effect too on his B ability with the weapon power as well. Now his combat roll is actually a crystal ability. So when you do a combat roll, your next two attacks will do a bonus, I think 50, 100, and 150 damage per attack, and that scales at 60% crystal. So I'm going to make sure they're not taking the gold mine, so I pop a flare right there, and I'm going to put down a mine for myself so we can keep some vision in that area. So at 1430, my thought is that they may try to take the gold mine before the Kraken spawns, but luckily they're all up here in the lane and we can kind of use our protection within the turret. So I use my root, go ahead and grab Kashka. I do a combat roll, stun them into the wall, and now retreating a little bit because I was taking the brunt of the enemy fire. So we're rotating around. I know that there is a mist right there, so Ringo actually pings it to warn all of us, so we see it. I'm able to get the 2 roots, push them down, stun out the 2 of them, and then I pop my fountain right there so that we can go ahead and heal the team. Juarez uses an ultimate, which gives him quite a bit of heal, and I'm going to go ahead and root and stun the Arden, and hopefully we can take him down. But unfortunately, yep, Petal is able to get him. I'm quite low, so I'm going to hang back. I may have 1 good root if it really helps out our team, but I know that Kestrel's right there, so I'm just going to bug out a little bit. Hang out by the tower. Now I'll come back in, support my teammate, and now we're able to actually work into the turret. So the nice part is when you have the fountain, you do have quite a bit of health regen. So as you can see, as I was waiting there, I was able to build up to about 3/4 of my health from almost nothing. That's an amazing snipe. Gotta give him credit for that one. Just took out Ringo on that one. And of course he decides to show his dismay by going, "Wow, can't believe she got me." So taking a look at the shop, I'm going to pick up a heavy steel, the 6 sins. Kestrel's right here. I think I'm going to do a quick combat roll. Luckily I see where she is. Use my B to get back at her, try to do a root. I figured she was going to move forward, but she moved back, so my prediction was a little bit wrong. So we're splitting right here, and I'm going to make my way back around. So Juarez knows exactly where I was going. Again, should have been able to root that one. His ultimate does a good job of healing him back up. I move myself in between him and the enemy team, put down the root, throw down my B, and Roxy's able to finish off the Kashka in quick record. So again, another missed root, but we're able to take down the Arden. He did switch directions on us, but luckily Juarez with Petal is able to get that one. So the Kestrel takes out our Ringo. Juarez is able to take her out. Now I'm saying, hey, let's go ahead and take this Kraken, as we have an ace on the other enemy team. So Juarez infuses so he can do some additional damage. We can hopefully take this Kraken a little bit faster. So what Juarez is doing when he's taking the Kraken is he is stutter stepping along, but he's also using his stutter step to work himself into the enemy tri-bush. And what that does, it gives him a little bit of a fair warning if any of the enemy team comes in, so that he can turn on them and protect the Kraken so that we don't get it stolen away from us. So there's the Kashka. So we come down, use my A, use my B, and then throw my fountain in as quick as I can, which ends up saving Juarez. So we're going to pursue the Arden right here, root him for the kill, and now we have a Kraken barreling down on the enemy team, so we're in pretty good shape. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of farming, and then I think I'm going to work into the enemy minion mine so that we can get our minions to push in additionally on the enemy base.
Your team captured the second minion mine. Allied minions are now at maximum strength.
So there is mist right there, so we have to be a little bit careful on where that is. Go ahead and root the Kashka. I was hoping to use my combat roll to roll around her so I could push her back into my teammates, but she was able to move out of it, so pushed her towards her base. It didn't have quite enough damage to take her out of the game. So they pounce on Roxy. I use my fountain. Hopefully it's enough. Missed the root again. The Arden is able to take out Roxy, but I think we're going to be able to take the Arden here quite quickly. Got that one. Used the root, predicted where they were going, and we're going to end up killing the enemy for the ace and for the win, and that will be a good game. So the tricks with Lance really is to predict where the enemy is going to go for your root when you're using your A ability. When you're going up against a Koshka, it's a little bit difficult, especially because she can kite around you quite a bit. So when you're picking an enemy, or if you're trying to counter pick, we picked Lance first. So they were able to pick some more mobile characters around us, being the Koshka and the Arden. Some other good choices that they could have picked would be a Sky, is another one that's very difficult to land the root on, and even a Vox because he has that sprint in both directions. Well, I hope you liked this video. I know that my roots were not on point, but we had some good stuns in there and a very good game nonetheless. If you liked the video, thumbs it up. Go ahead and leave any comments or questions that you have below. We'll do our best to answer it. And again, this is Jeff with the Halcyon Masters. Have a great day.